Good evening. Welcome to Mostly Arsenal. A little bit of an odd one tonight. I wasn't planning to do a video at all. This is completely unprepared. But I've had a really shit day. And there's literally two subjects that I want to talk about tonight. The first one is the dividing the Arsenal fan base, which has just been ridiculous last couple of days, especially since the Everton game. And the other one is something I don't normally talk about. It's politics and lockdown and all that sort of stuff. So we're going to get into that. Like I say, I've had a really bad day, and those of you that have watched any of these videos before know that I tend to swear a bit. It's going to get real agricultural tonight, so if you don't like that sort of stuff, just go watch something else. Go watch some kids opening some toys somewhere else on YouTube or something. But that's what we're gonna talk about. So without further ado, let's go. Now, there's always going to be, in any sort of groups or families or whatever, there's always going to be divides. People are going to see things differently, and I don't know about other clubs. I presume it's probably exactly the same at other clubs. I don't know. I don't really follow other clubs on social media, so I can't really comment on that, but I'm thinking it probably is a bit like that, because in every walk of life, people have different opinions on how things should be done to get the best end product. Now, with our football teams, we are so unbelievably invested in this that we get real passionate, and we go from one extreme to another. You got the absolute ecstasy of when something goes like brilliantly well, and then you've got the desolation of when it's going really, really shit. So it peaks and troughs, and like I say, it goes from one extreme to another, and we all have different opinions that go from one extreme to another. But I think what we need to do, we need to stop from, like, Arsenal fans, gooners. We're supposed to be a family. We all want the same thing. We want a thriving, successful football club. Hang on, pardon me. And we've all got different opinions on how we should get there. Now, that's fine. There's going to be different opinions everywhere. But the last couple of days, what I've seen, I mean, I've only been into the whole Twitter, YouTube football thing for, a short time compared with a lot of people that have been doing it, probably a year or so, I suppose. And I remember this time last year when, we were literally, it was the worst thing ever. And there was lots of infighting then, but like this last couple of days, maybe since the Man U game, it seems to me to have been a lot more aggressive in its tone. Now, I don't know if that's because we were kind of seeing some shoots of recovery. We'd been on a good run, albeit we hadn't really played, any of the massive teams, and that's kind of what a lot of people are saying. Is like, we haven't played anyone. We've done Norwich 1-0, so on, and that's kind of fine. But it's getting to the point now where maybe because people saw a sign that there was going to be some recovery and the hopes have got up, and then they've been kind of dashed a little bit the last couple of games. And me personally, I'm worried a little bit that we're going to go down last season's December road again, because I was thinking we're kind of made of different stuff this season, especially with the back five and the recruitment, which I've spoken about before. But then you get into the point where people are actually like, people who are supporting the same team, they're literally fucking abusing people online and really getting stuck into them just for having a different opinion. Now, I've got my opinion, you've got yours. Everyone's got a different opinion. In the short time that I've been doing this, I've made a handful of really, really close friends, who hopefully will be friends for a long, long time. Some of them see things, not everything, but they see certain things the same way as I do, whether it be tactics, lineups, the way the game should be played, and some agree with certain parts of that, some don't. some are a little bit further away, some are opposite fucking ends of the spectrum. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to fall out with these people, they're going to fall out with me if I have a different take on, how the manager's doing, or how the left back's doing, or who should be playing alongside Thomas Partey in the middle of the park. We've all got different opinions. What we need to do is be able to fucking talk about it without fucking abusing each other. Now, I've made no secret of the fact that, I want Arteta to succeed. I've got less trust in him now than I did have a week ago, and it's kind of resurfaced things that I felt in the first leg against Villarreal in the Europa League, because some of the decision making seems a little bit odd to me. But I could have a conversation with somebody who is entirely Arteta in and voice these opinions and hopefully not have a row with them. Likewise, I could have a conversation with somebody who's been Arteta out since fucking day one, and hopefully not have a row with them. What I've got to do is just take other people's opinions on board. My opinions, though they may be different to yours, mine are no more valid than yours, and yours are no more valid than mine. I'm not right and you're wrong. You're not right and I'm wrong. We just see things fucking differently. We're supposed to be grown up, supposed to be able to fucking talk about things. This reminds me a little bit, my two youngest kids, the other day, they were having a bit of a fucking barney about what they're going to watch on telly. Now, Dempsey, who's 9, she likes watching at the moment Sam and Cat on Netflix. Willow, who's 11, she likes watching The Mandalorian on the Disney Channel. They're having a fucking row about it. So I sat them down. I said, "Look, what can we do to sort this out?" And Dempsey, who is 9, she says, "Well, how about Willow watches her programme first, and then I'll watch mine, and we take turns." They're 11 and 9, and they sort it out. Now, I know it's a little bit different because they're in person, and, everyone who's having a fucking barney on Twitter, they're not physically in front of the person they're having a fucking row with. But you got to think about it. It's like, you've got to just fucking sit back and just listen for a minute. Listen to the other person. Listen to their views. And as long as they're not attacking you personally, you can take their views on board. And then you can give your views, and hopefully they'll take yours on board. Now, last night I sat and watched Lee Judge's TV. I've never watched it before. And I've seen Lee on AFTV before. And I know he's a passionate guy. He's passionate about Arsenal. And some of the stuff he's said before I've agreed with, some I've disagreed with. And I was fairly certain I knew what I'd get when I watched it last night. He was on with his co-host Dan Potts. And there was a lot of what they said I really disagreed with. They were saying that people like me are accepting mediocrity. And that's fine. That's their opinion. They're entitled to that. I'm not accepting mediocrity. It's just that I'm fucking patient because this is not my first fucking rodeo, and I'm sure it's not theirs either. But also, a lot of what they said actually made an awful lot of sense. It was educated. It was reasonable, and I took that on board. And that's what we've got to do. And I'm sure with these guys or anyone else who sees things the same way they do, it would be nice to actually be able to have a conversation and say, right, that's your point of view. That's fine, I accept that. This is mine. And then hopefully they would accept that. And then everyone can fucking move forward and just get back to the point, which is we want our team to be doing well. That's it. End of. I don't like... There's this thing, I don't know where it even started, maybe with all the Wenger out bollocks from a few years ago. But it's always like, are you Arteta in? Are you Arteta out? Why does that have to define us as Gooners? Why can't we just be Arsenal fans, for fuck's sake? I don't want to be defined as to whether I'm Arteta in or Arteta out, because I want him to do well. Do I think he's the right bloke for the job? I'm really not sure. He's had 2 years. I did a video the other night which clearly hasn't aged very fucking well, because I'm saying, we win this game and we go top 4. And here we are. We've had not just 2 bad games, but 2 bad performances. And I'm now thinking I don't agree with a lot of the decisions that he's made. Some of them seem really quite odd to be honest. Is it naivety? I don't know. And it doesn't matter what I think or what other people think. What actually matters is what the hierarchy think. If they think he's shit and they can get someone else in, they'll do that. If they think, no, we're not getting rid of him, we've just done 150 million on this geezer in the summer. We've got to stick with this. Who knows? But I know it's not easy to be nice all the time, and we all get super pissed off not only when we lose, but when we play badly. I mean, I watch every single game from home in my conservatory with the door closed, so I'm away from my missus and my kids, because they don't want to be listening to me shouting and screaming at the telly. I get as angry as anyone. Just because I get angry and disappointed with performances doesn't mean instantly that I want this to change or that to change. I understand that things do take time, but we're getting to a point where an awful lot of time has passed. And like I say, I don't want to be defined as in or out. I'm an Arsenal fan. I want whatever's best for the club. If what's best for the club is for the current manager to go and somebody else to come in, so be it. I would rather the current manager turn things around and become successful, because that helps with his continuity, and he knows the players, he knows the setup of the club, and the setup of the club knows him. So obviously that's the best thing. But if it doesn't work out, it's a shame, but it is what it is. So just fucking be nice to each other, for fuck's sake. Listen to each other and accept other people's opinions. Just stop being a bunch of fucking bellends. Right, anyway. Next up, politics. Now, you probably know what I'm going to talk about here. It's Boris Johnson's Plan B, firstly. I'll give you a little bit of a backstory on me. I'm about as socialist as anyone can possibly be. I'm probably about that far from being a full-blown communist. The reasons for this are that I like socialism because I like the thought that there can be equality as far as is reasonably practicable, as it would say in someone's contract. Also, my dad's family, my dad comes from a long line of Durham coal miners, and his Uncle George, my great Uncle George, he was the Labour MP for Chesterley Street for about 2 decades, I think between the 50s and the 70s, something like that. So it's kind of like, it's ingrained in me, it's like in my genetics. So I don't like Tories, which this is not me spouting on with any sort of left-wing agenda or anything. It's just, that's why I wanted to put that out there before, I don't know, some dark, dirty secret comes out. Oh yeah, this bloke, he's a fucking communist, that's why he's having a crack at the government. That's not why I'm about to have a crack at the government. I'm going to have a crack at the government because I think they're a bunch of fucking wankers. But more about that shortly. Firstly, Plan B. Now, the thing that really, really strikes me with this, like, I was aware of the Omicron variant probably about 3 weeks ago, started reading about it, and I think the first case was at some time in November, started in either South Africa or Mozambique or Malawi, and the first actual confirmed case I think was in the Netherlands, and it became really quickly apparent that the transmissibility rate of this new variant is like streets ahead of the previous ones, Alpha, Delta, the rest of them. So this was always going to be an issue. It looks like the effects of this new variant are not as bad as the previous ones early on, but you never know. But apparently what's happening, they are not testing everybody with COVID to see which variant they've got. So far, they've of those they've tested, I think there's something like 548 cases are Omicron, but the adjusted figures are that that's probably about 10,000 people who've got that strain at the moment, and it's looking like it could be anywhere up to 1 million people with that strain by the end of the year, which is what we're on now, the 8th, so it's like 23 days. That's how transmissible it is. That's like what the predictions are. Now, I have my own opinions on everything to do with COVID since the start. I will keep most of those opinions underneath my tinfoil hat, because a lot of those I like to keep to myself. I don't really want to get into more rows with people about other stuff. But the thing that I find really, really odd, and I have done all along, so you have certain places where you have to wear a mask, certain places you don't. Now, I know when it's an enclosed space, there is more chance of transmitting this virus. So it started when a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago, whenever it was, when you go into a shop, you got to put a mask on. All right, that's fine. There's people in there. It's an enclosed space. And then Plan B has come out, and they've brought it out to include more places. But the one place it doesn't include is a fucking pub or a nightclub. Now, that bothers me. Don't get me wrong, I like going to the pub. I like going to the pub more than the next bloke. In fact, I probably like going to the pub more than like the next 10 blokes. Bit too much. But if I go into fucking Tesco's to get myself a sandwich and a chilled coffee at lunchtime, I'm in full sensible mode. You know, I'm normal daytime me. But if I go into a fucking pub and I'm sat there for 4 hours, come 11:30, I'm not sensible me. I'm fucking stupid drunk me. So I'm going to do stupid drunk fucking things. And I'm going to get closer to people. You're going to see a mate you've been seeing for ages. So you're going to go and give them a fucking hug. Stuff like that. So I just think it's a little bit odd. And I don't want to have a pop at the hospitality industry whatsoever, because I've done me many, many favours over the years. But does it not seem a little bit strange that it's okay to go out and get shit-faced and not wear a mask and do stupid shit-faced stuff, but you have to wear a mask when you go do food shopping, when you've probably driven there, so you're going to be a little bit more sensible? It's just one of those things I was thinking about. It seems a bit fucking strange. I mean, I went to London last Friday, as some of you might know, for a works Christmas do, and I remember where I was going. I was thinking, maybe I shouldn't really be doing this. It's a bit fucking stupid, really. And it wasn't really the party so much. You know, that was in a nice posh hotel, and all right, people weren't socially distanced, but before that, I'm walking around Leicester Square, and there must have been about a fucking million people. There was no space anywhere, and no one's wearing masks. And I know it's outside and there's less chance of catching it, but you're still close to people. Still, you know, breathing the same air, touching the same things. You know, maybe it could be a case of one or two things. Maybe it could be you just think, fuck it, no one wears masks, everyone catches it. It's not as powerful, and this is the herd immunity that the government wanted in the first place. Or maybe you say, look, if you're fucking outside your house, you wear a mask wherever you go. I don't make the rules, just my humble thoughts and opinions. Now, the next bit I want to talk about is this fucking party that they had, the government. There's probably no coincidence that they've brought out this Plan B exactly the same time that these two fucking videos have dropped. By the way, I know you fucking dropped them. Dominic Cummings, it was fucking you. Now, these Christmas parties, I mean, like I say, this is the main reason why I wanted to explain about my political beliefs. So there's no dirty secrets or anything like that. Now, I don't like politicians, full stop. Probably the only one I've ever liked was Jeremy Corbyn. I thought he was a decent bloke, regardless of what anyone else thought about him. You know, I thought he was alright, and he seemed like a decent soul. But you look at people like Boris Johnson, fucking Jacob Rees-Mogg, Jesus. They don't strike me as sort of people that have the best interest of their people at heart. It seems very much like they're just out for themselves. Now, I know Boris Johnson, he comes across as this bumbling, buffoonish, almost like a favourite uncle type person with his fucking mad hair and his getting mixed up with his words and things like that. But the bloke's a fucking liar. He's made a history. He's made a career out of being a liar. And when these videos dropped earlier, the first one I saw was with the spokeswoman almost doing like a set-up press briefing with some other staff members. And I mean, I saw that and thought, yeah, that's pretty bad. It's not gonna end well for you. But then the next video I saw was the one at the actual fucking party. Now, when people said there was a party at 10 Downing Street, I had a vision of just a few crusty old farts sat around on leather sofas, you know, drinking ridiculously expensive brandies and smoking massive cigars and just doing that. But when I saw the footage, like, it's obviously in the conference suite or something, because it's like an actual fucking nightclub. And you got Jacob Rees-Mogg up the top there, basically making fucking jokes, saying we're going to change from metric to imperial so we can all be 2 inches apart. Well, that's what we're doing anyway. So he's basically fucking laughing at the rest of us. Now, I saw a picture today I hadn't seen before, and it was a picture of the Queen at Prince Philip's funeral. Now, I'm not a royalist. I don't really care either way about the royal family. But you got this old lady who sat there on her own as she's laying to rest the geezer she was married to for 73 years. And that's actually quite a heartbreaking picture to see that. And I can't remember the date when it happened, whether it was before or after this Christmas party. But then you go back to the party at 10 Downing Street, and they're doing that. Now, if I was the Queen, I'd be bringing back fucking beheadings, especially for Jacob Rees-Mogg. The bloke is an absolute fucking cunt, basically. He always has been. He doesn't care about people. He cares about himself. Same as Boris Johnson just cares about himself. Now, from my own personal point of view, I know I could have gone to see my mum and dad last Christmas because, you know, there was, well, I could have done if I wanted to anyway. Fuck it. But I didn't, because they're both high risk if they were to catch this thing. And again, I know lots of people think, you know, it's not real, whatever your fucking viewpoint it is, and whether it is real or not. I'm not taking that fucking chance with my parents. And they didn't get to see their grandkids for over a year. Over a year. And I know that absolutely fucking killed them to not be able to see their grandkids for over a year. And then you got fucking this idiot up there making jokes about social distancing. All the little fucking tiny little idiots that are in the crowd trying to fucking laugh at his jokes and curry favour with him. I think they're an absolute fucking disgrace. And I literally, the thing that really, well, not the only thing that pisses me off, but this has pissed me off as well. Allegra Stratton, the spokesperson who had to step down today, she stood there on the steps of her house fucking crying. Whether they're real or crocodile tears, I don't know, but she's had to step down because she's like an underling. She's one of the fucking little people. Rees-Mogg and Johnson, what are they going to do? Seriously, they'll still fucking be there. And I just think it's wrong, it's immoral, and it's absolutely disgusting. And I don't really know what else to say about that. I've ranted on for, what's that, nearly 25 minutes now. I don't normally do politics, like I say, and I do have my own opinions on everything to do with coronavirus and the last 2 years. I'm not going to share them with just everybody because I'll probably get fucking committed. But anyway, that's about it for tonight's one. Like I said, it was totally impromptu, unscripted. What I probably should have done in the middle at some point, I would have said, if you like this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel. I forgot to do that entirely because I was really pissed off. But I'll say that now. If you like this video, please like the video. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, fucking do it. That'd be awesome. Anyway, I'm going to go now. See you next time. Bye.